Boys is getting quiet. Go on and get crunk. Head back to Longview, Kelly popping trunk. I ain't even tripping. Riding and I'm sipping. Let me come through, 4-4, steady tipping. On that new lap. Watch the trunk crack. Let me sit sideways, CB running back. Maybe AP, maybe AD. I ain't even tripping cause we some athletes. Messing with Smitty in the summertime. He get pissed if we don't make our time. But we gon' get it, cause we gotta finish. Nebraska Horn Hustlers, man, we diminished. Put them boys little, paint like a skittle. I ain't even tripping, I ain't never double dribble. Cause I'm a player from the Himalaya. Let me sit sideways, man. Maybe back door, maybe fall off. Sipping codeine cause I gotta kill a cough. Let me sit sideways in the big Benz. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends.
All right. Welcome into what is going to be just flat out. If what we've been talking about beforehand is any indicator, this is going to be lit. But BJ's laughing. We'll start with the youngster, Rufus. Alexander, how are you, sir?
I'm doing all right, man. Just a little bit confused about last night's game.
The crafty vet, PJ Mills, how are you, sir?
What's up, man? Always good to be with my boys. How y'all doing, man?
But all right, man. You got that salt and pepper going right, though,
salt
man.
And pepper, man.
You got that salt and pepper going right. All the ladies, check out PJ Mills. He's what I aspire to be.
Yeah. Old and broken. Yeah. Broken knees, ankles, all that.
Yeah. Well, PJ.
Hey, before we get started, though, go ahead. I'm gonna put the warning out. Y'all already know.
We love OU.
This ain't y'all, this me. Get ready. In 2 years, I think Urban Meyer gonna be in Texas. You got a head start. Get ready. When he get there, it ain't gonna be no games.
I don't think he come back and do what he did before.
It's gonna be easier to do it in this conference than the one when both of the other ones he was in.
Nah, he had a machine going in Ohio State.
Right.
I think he can do it in Texas. I'm with you. He's a good coach.
I hope he doesn't. And it may not happen. I'm just saying the way it's lining up, he's on the booth now talking, cleaning the image up a little bit. Texas falling off. They lost to 4 different quarterbacks from OU in a row.
Bro, that man got a bad look on his name, though. He ain't gonna be able to come back just like that without the NCAA giving.
But that's why he's on that booth. He's trying to clean his name up.
Yeah, but when he comes back, somebody gonna take some fines or some kind of penalties or something. He gonna take something.
Texas to pay all that.
Yeah. Good point on that.
Not good point. Hey, look, you're right.
It's just a thought. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. It's just a thought.
Yeah. Well, Rufus kind of hit on it. I need to ask y'all. Rufus? You can start. What's your initial emotion after the game yesterday? Are you happy? You sad? How you feeling?
I'm sad. It's not that I'm sad. It's just I'm confused. You know, one, you have a young quarterback, and you have this offensive genius of an offensive coordinator and head coach, and you know you get in a game where you have to have this killer instinct of taking teams out when you have them on the ropes, and we don't go take the team out. And we act like all of a sudden our defense has arrived and we can go run the ball 3 and out and punt it back to the next team and give them another chance and give them a second chance. And then on the third chance, guess what? Our defense showed up into who they were, turned back into who they were, and they gave you your chance to, boom, go full force and let's put them out. We all know, man, from whenever we play, who Texas is and when Texas is out of the game. Usually a lot of times when you go up 21 and you put up 28, they usually fold their 10.
Yeah.
They don't fold their 10 at 14 because you just a strike away. So to fold up like for us to go on the sideline, and I was watching it on TV and was like, they were celebrating. I'm like, oh hell no, they don't even know this game ain't even over. It's one touchdown away from being serious again. And they were celebrating like they won the game after they went to another 3 and out. And the offense got the ball. Lincoln Riley went into that same thing, but that goes to show like it goes back to the Georgia game. Whenever we come out of halftime after putting up points, throwing the ball down the field, I mean big chunk yardage, and then we go all the way away from that and go to straight running the ball type stuff, and you kind of like, man, what the hell's going on? Same thing. You go to Alabama instead of making the best choice for a wide receiver and what was it, Marquise Brown, whenever he had the bad ankle, That man couldn't cut left, couldn't cut right, and you're gonna play against one of the best secondaries in college football in Alabama. That puts your offense at a disadvantage because he was more worried about his ankle and catching the ball than he was more worried about his ankle than catching the ball, and he couldn't be explosive. He couldn't go up and get the ball, so that puts you at a disadvantage. And then once you take him out, your offense starts to open up and spread out and be a lot better. CD Lamb, you force the ball a little bit to CD Lamb. Charleston Rambo taking the top off. It was a different offense. So I'm waiting for Lincoln Riley to catch his bearings and his footing again and become, the coach that we've all saw whenever Coach Stoops was running it and he was the offensive coordinator, was taking shots, taking chances and stuff, like having an explosive offense. And then now it's all of a sudden changed since he became the head coach. He's becoming more of a conservative guy and trying to make the perfect decision. And I'm looking for him to be Lincoln.
Yeah, man. PJ, what's your initial response?
Man, I would like to say something profound, but he said pretty much all of it. And, I think all of us are glad that Lincoln's here, but his impact needs to reach both sides of the ball. And I think that beating Texas is the number one thing of that.
All right, we're back after some technical difficulties. I blame my son playing Roblox on my damn computer. But he hopefully don't get too mad at me. But
that might be my daughter. She got like 1,000 apps and stuff on my thing, and it was all playing at once. So I was trying to X them out, and that's why I was keep on clicking and stuff.
It sounded like a fun game, whatever it was. Hopefully she wants some coins or something. Something. But hey, no, back to the game. Okay, let's get back to it. What were you happy? Well, go ahead. What were you happy about, PJ? What were you happy about? What were you mad about?
We won. The number one thing is, did we win? Right. So we won. That's the number one thing we won. But even within a win, you still critique yourself, and then a loss obviously is even more than that because you have more to look at. I thought that obviously there was mistakes. There were mistakes made. They didn't play. I didn't see as big a gap of how clean it was from the last two games as much as I thought they played hard, if that makes any sense. I thought they played hard, not necessarily as well as you would like, but I thought that they played hard. I thought that they were tackling better. I thought that they were better than the last two games that I saw. Now, I'm not saying that they are aware of.
They still have the same mistakes.
What's that?
They have the same mistakes but played harder with making those same mistakes.
I thought
they played harder against Texas.
I'm in between both of y'all. PJ, you're right. And then I'm with Rufus that they started out playing a lot better. And then, like Ruf said, man, like by overtime, it's like, what in the hell? Where's our tackling? It's our what? I'm with you. Yes, it was ugly.
I don't see how Lincoln didn't see that the defense was tired, that he had to get a first down after them boys go out and do 3 and out.
Right.
Like, yeah. They were smoked. Now they were pretty gassed in that game.
4-minute offense. You're right. Go ahead. PJ.
The coach has to be able to see head coach and coordinator at this point in this particular situation is both. He's both in one and the same. But you have to have a feel for seeing how they're playing. If you see them, getting tired as a collective almost, then you need to call the game accordingly. Yes, you want them to be in shape and be able to run 100 miles an hour every play, but that's not reality. The reality is when you see that they need a blow or so, they need some time to. You have to pick those type of plays that will give them within the game a way to get some type of rest during the game. I'm not saying it the way I'm trying to have it come across, but I think he needed to do a better job of assessing that those guys were tired and then call plays accordingly.
But do we have that ability though, PJ? And that's where Rufus, you can answer it. The scheme that we put out there on offense is not set to break or to grind out runs, is it? It's the play action to the tight end.
But I mean, you look at the game. I mean, they grind out almost the entire third quarter. I mean, they went on a spree where they were controlling the line of scrimmage. Well, they go up
True.
14 going into the fourth quarter, and on Twitter I said, "Well, this is the time Texas is desperate. They're on the ropes. Shit, take a big shot to Charleston Rambo. They gonna play. They playing shallow with the safeties. And put some one on one with the corner with a lot of field. Go in your play action set. I mean, go in your run heavy set that you've been getting all these yards in. Play action out of that same set. The safety's biting. He's coming down to help fill a hole. And they blitz both backers. So he was one on one with the side of the field and bring something to the middle to occupy the safety. So you got him. You got what you want. And I was thinking that's where you take a shot at. Even on first down, 1st and 10, I would have took a shot after I got the ball back on the 3 and out, just to shock them and see what the hell Texas is at, and so they don't think, well, we packing it in, trying to get out of here. Because I think each time when we try to say we packing it in, Texas just grew confidence. They went 3 and out on the offense, and they gave the ball right back to their offense. And they came back, went 3 and out again. They gave the ball right back to their offense. And I'm like, oh man, we over there playing with fire, and we didn't have to. And I'm saying the only reason I'm saying this too is because Lincoln has a young quarterback, and he struggles in certain situations. Why not let him take a shot when he doesn't have all that pressure on him, instead of making a throw to Stogner on a 3rd down to get a 1st down to ice a game, right? He kind of threw it behind Stogner a little bit. Stogner has to catch it, but it's like he put it out in front where it was an easy catch, where it was a super easy catch, and Stogner has to make that catch. You're talking about 2 young guys playing in a game in a high pressure situation that didn't even have to be a pressure situation early on in the game. And like you said, we criticize either way. If they get a 1st down, who everybody's celebrating. Look at this offensive line growth and maturity, but that offensive line, they was going to sell out to stop the run. I knew they was going to sell out to stop the run. Everybody in the stadium knew they was going to sell out to stop the run, and we go 3 and out. And then on the time management, shit, run the ball. What you got to get a 1st down for now? Give them 40 seconds. That was a high risk, no reward type thing.
And we are Tom Herman going for 2 at the end of regulation away from being sad campers today. I mean,
right.
That shit's crazy, man. I mean, that's where I'm where throughout the game, guys, did you see enough? I saw a little bit more passion blocking. Did you see enough physical plays for us to make a run and win this league? For us to make, now, granted, the league has a lot of parity. It has, TCU beats Texas, turns around and loses K-State at home. Do we have, PJ mentioned it last week about having what it takes. Do you still think we have what it takes, PJ? Do you think we still don't have what it takes? Excuse me.
Well, I mean, I've been saying this every time. We don't have what we need, based off of the success that we've had recently. To me, I'm not trying to diminish anybody. I'm not trying to diminish anybody on that team. We all played there. We all love OU. I say this with love. I'm not saying it to down anybody, but I'm going to say what I see. And the talent level isn't where it's supposed to be with this amount of success that they're coming on for. You've been to 4 Final Fours. Yes, we lost the first game, but that should be something that really good recruiters can be able to get those guys to come up. We're with this receiver, this tight end, this deep. If we get a couple of pieces, you saw we got there, you can help us get over. Now, somebody can recruit better than what I'm saying. I'm just saying we've won too many games and been in too many Final Fours. We've been in 4 of the 6 that we don't have. We got a freshman or a senior we're picking between. Where's the middle? And I just don't see the talent here as I thought it should be based off of what we've done. And you can tell this person, hey, you come here, you got a good chance to start/play, however they do the recruiting. I don't know how they do it. I'm just surprised that we don't have what we need on both sides of the ball at this point. I'm just surprised at that. I'm not taking a shot at anybody. I'm just surprised by that.
Ruf, do you agree? You think we got what we need? You think what? Especially, I'm anxious to hear about what you think about your position.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't think it's kind of amazing not to. I mean, and this year is kind of hard to look at too because of
Yeah.
just how it all came about. You know, I mean, we're criticizing Lincoln Riley on having a true freshman, redshirt freshman quarterback and new offensive line guys in a season where they didn't finish a spring, they didn't have a summer, they didn't have all this and that stuff. I'm giving them excuses and all
Valid.
this and that. There's other schools across the country that's going through these same things though. And they're not, and I mean, Alabama having their problems and their woes, but their offense is clicking at all on all cylinders. They would
Unstoppable.
they stay with a killer instinct. Clemson's not having that problem, and we want to consider ourselves up there with those guys. Well, we can't have the lapses that we're having either. You know, if we want to be up there and play with the big boys, and that's what I'm saying. I'm with PJ on this. It's like we got to have those guys, and if we have those guys, why are we not playing them in a year where it don't matter? They can come back, and the year don't count against them in the
My
NCAA.
my
Good
guess,
point,
Roof.
right?
My guess is, and you can comment on it because you know the guys as well as I do. But my guess, Roof, is we don't have complete players, and we're sacrificing players that it's either you
I
cover or
mean,
you
that's
can't
bad.
tackle.
That's bad, and that's bad development. I mean, Woody Washington came in there and played
I
well.
thought he did well.
I mean, shit. It ain't like Brent Buki has the same kind of his development last year. He's had a lack of development this year. So what makes him more developed to play this year anyway and not try another person?
Hmm.
Because it's not like his development grew in the spring or the summer. He's the same guy he was last year.
Yeah.
So why isn't Jeremiah Cradell? Why isn't the was it the Eaton kid?
Hmm.
You got all
He
these
played a
kids. You
little
got
bit.
huh?
He played a little bit, and I loved it. Eaton, the kid dropped fast, ran up slow. It's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that's where I'm like, oh, we're playing guys that,
What
you
I'm saying
know,
though, I mean, I did the same thing. My first game, you can't throw a kid out there in the Red River in
right,
the Red Rivalry and
right.
not expect him to be anxious and drop fast, come up slow type stuff. I did the same thing when I played against Bowling Green. But the second game, it slowed down. The third game, it slowed down. And by the time it got mid-season, it was all slow to me. But you can't tell me they're gonna give that kid an opportunity and his one mistake gets him X'd out of a game whenever somebody else had numerous mistakes
Ooh.
and stayed in a game.
Hmm.
So you got to give me I want to understand that one. Then I want to understand how this guy gets an opportunity to develop, and this guy doesn't get an opportunity to continue to grow within the game.
Let him know. Let him know.
I mean, this, and I say I'm not even gonna slight it. I'm not even trying to slight the kid, but I mean, dude, it's on TV. You can see it. It's bad mistake after bad mistake, hitting a guy on a punt, getting a pass interference, jumping on a person's back, missing a tackle. Then Patrick Fields go out there, hold on this one, pass interference on that one, fall off a tackle on this one. I mean, shit. Everybody else getting to develop on the job while somebody else can't get a chance to develop on the job or learn better.
It's a great question.
So, and that's where I'm at with it. And still on the defensive line, you don't have Redmond, which is tough as hell. You don't have Perkins, which I heard something on that one. Did you hear why he didn't get to play in Texas?
I have no idea.
He's supposed to come back to Texas. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I was kind of asking you guys. Have y'all heard why he didn't get to play? I was gonna say I heard.
I didn't hear.
I'm guessing
Why
he'll be
he-
back next week, maybe.
I don't know. I wonder why he didn't play. You know, uh, but defensively, we ain't gonna never be there until you can line up in a gap and play 4 men in a gap.
Let him
Go
know,
ahead and
Roof.
without having to blitz, without having to slant, do all these crazy fronts, move side to side type stuff. Whenever you can do that, hey, I will say the defense will be okay and it'll be simple for those guys. It's not simple for the linebackers because the gaps always change. They're not sure of gaps. People get cut off from gaps. Then you got to correct guys all the time.
And they're covering so much ground right now. So much ground, Roof. Sideline to sideline, deep middle, deep thirds. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's a lot, man.
Their weakness is within the defensive coordinator because of what he's doing and how he's trying to play everything up front. All the moving, all the slanting, and all that. It's all fine and dandy whenever you're playing at Washington State. When you come and you play against guys like Texas, like K State, and you play against a team like Iowa State, who 100% is putting the ball in the phone booth, they put the game into a phone booth, and you have to protect the run, and you have to be solid in your gaps, you're in trouble. That's why Sam Ehlinger later on starting to find running lanes and stuff is because they're doing 3-man rushes, and they have forever to go out there, and their spy can't tackle one-on-one.
Yeah. PJ.
I've always said this. I obviously I play wide receiver, but one thing that I've always believed in football is your O-line and your D-line gives you your versatility.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Everything starts in front. And this is a former cocky receiver a long time ago. Everything starts up front. If you have what you need on the offense and defensive lines, hopefully you may have a guy you can kind of swing in and rotate a little bit. But if you have that offensive line, then the playbook opens. If they can run block and pass block with proficiency, I'm not saying it's got to be great, but if they can do both, that opens up everything, especially with somebody with his imagination on offense. But on the defensive end, that D line opens everything up in a lot of places for you and others at the linebacker position. The corners feel a little bit more comfortable. When you have that D line, and I ain't got to tell you, that very well. When you got that D line, that puts pressure you in that quarterback's head every time, man. Because you're closing up holes, you got to make adjustments, or you're getting through and either tackling him or pressuring him. That the O-line and D-line, if you have that, you have the ability to be diverse. But if you don't have that, you're going to have to pull back a lot. And that's why I keep harping on the recruiting, the development, the stacking, because when you have talent like that, that's when you win. If you're tough-minded, if you do what you're asked to do, and if you have who you need in those spots, that's when you win these national championships. But right now, hoping we out talent teams right now is not working.
Are you talking about Jimmy's and Joe's?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Are you doing the Switzer thing? Gotta have the Jimmy's and Joe's.
Well, I'm just saying the people that's gonna make the difference. Everything starts at the line of scrimmage. That offensive line can run block and pass block. The D line can do what they need to do on both sides. A lot of other things happen based off of that. Because if you know you can't run block or you can't pass block, you're not gonna call those plays as much because you know they can't block it. But if you know that they can block it and open holes to run, it opens up a lot of things. And now the opposing team has to be aware and be nervous of the things you can do now because the offensive line and defensive line is better. I don't know. I just think, you would know the defensive side better than me, Rufus, no doubt. But I just know that.
They're taking guys. They take David Agwebu. They put David Agwebu at linebacker. And he had his hand on the ground. He was outside edge rusher last year.
But looked better than, just as good as pretty much anybody in there.
So I'm saying, though, so you go with 2 linebackers in the nickel. So you going in there with Buki out there. Well, you picking up the lesser 2 evils with Buki and Asamoah out there. Because I don't think he covers well in space. I don't think Buki covers well in space, nor deep.
That's what I'm talking about. Why don't we have the people who do?
I
don't know. And I'm saying that's
who's the 5 you would go with? Roof. Who's the 5 DBs you would go with?
Right now, I'm trying anybody else at DB. I like Woody Washington. I like Trey Brown. He's done well. On the back end, Pat Fields, and I like Norwood. And I like Turner Yell. Pat Fields may be a guy I bring in the box now down as a safety nickel part. Or I'm going to put Trey Norwood as a safety nickel part, as a nickel and put Pat Fields back there. But I'm going to go more nickel than anything on certain situations. And Asamoah is going to come in whenever I play against a team that has a heavier run type situation, and his role will be limited. But my linebackers will be set with White and David Agwebu. I'm not rotating Meade in. I don't need to. I'll make Meade and I'll have Meade and I'll have Asamoah fight out for the same position. But my 2 inside linebackers are going to be set. Because teams right now, if you watch the league does not say you have to have this revolving door of a lot of fresh people. Only the defensive line needs that because the league is not running 1,000 plays anymore. Look, I mean, if anybody does the math in the league right now, there's no team putting up 100 snaps a game right now. Like look at, I mean, the whole rotation thing came about because of the super spread offense and everybody's running trying to get to 100 something snaps, hurry up offense type stuff, and we're not seeing that. That guy that did it at Baylor, he's gone. The guy that was, I mean, when Texas was doing it for a little bit, he's no longer there. TCU was kind of doing it for a little bit. They're no longer doing that. They don't have the quarterback to do it. OSU kind of does it a little bit, but they don't have the quarterback to do it right now. Or they don't have the skill set to do it right now, even though Gundy wants to do it. So, I mean, look at our league. West Virginia's not doing it. Nobody is doing this high-tempo offense. So the rotation should be null and void and get set with two guys and have a third guy that come in for heavy run offenses and have a pass guy ready to go. And then you figure out your front. Your front is what needs to be figured out. Tibb and Kane needs to get that figured out. I mean, all the slanting and moving, like I said, it makes it hard on anybody playing linebacker because you have to either one correct the guy if the offense guesses corrected, go a certain way whenever you call it wrong, you're slanting right and they're working left, they hooking everybody right now and they get to the outside.
Right.
Or they can signal out whenever a guy's there, we're gonna leave this guy unblocked because I know they're slanting this way. We don't have to worry about a pass rush because they're too busy slanting left and right and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how to win on the inside with regular pass rush moves because, they're too busy slanting, so they don't do regular straight-up pass rush moves anyway. So the only person that really wins is Isaiah Thompson on the outside.
Benito had a pretty good game.
Yeah, Benito had a decent game too, but Benito also he was spying some of the time, he was going some of the time. I mean, it's an odd look. I mean, Benito's tall, long, lengthy guy. I mean, let the man rush. Let him be who he is. Let him be what gets him to the league, what'll get other people want to come here. People came here because there was a striker position.
Yep.
And he was getting a bunch of sacks. They came here because Obo was getting sacks. And he was the next striker position. He was the next person to play the striker position. Why do you think big defensive ends going to the SEC? Because they're getting sacks and they're high draft picks. Let those guys be those guys.
Yeah.
We're not doing that right now, though. We're not doing that. We're not letting outside guys be outside guys, interior guys being interior guys. We tell them, hey, we put whoever we want there. Y'all just plug a hole or whatever so our guys can play and we do all this exotic shit. I wouldn't come here for that.
That's real. PJ, I got to ask you, you the vet of the show. I rarely ask this question, but I feel like it's too big of an elephant in the room not to. We got to talk about the play calling. You can go from offensively, defensively. Was there anything that you questioned? Was there things that you liked, disliked? Let me know.
I mean, it was a little bit of both, obviously. I mean, in a game that meant that much, a lot of people are going to be tense at first. I thought there was that energy that you wanted to let out. I think they need to sometimes do off play action. Like when he was saying run the ball. You know what I'm saying? And see if that O-line can push somebody against their will. Once you get that, they're gonna come up a little bit. Then maybe you can go over them. But right now, this is really it's a throwing quarterback. It's considered a throwing team. You would say offensively, we're a throwing team more than a running team. Would you say that?
We're a zone running team. That's the scary thing to me. Rufus could talk more about it, but we're a zone running team. I mean, to me, that's hard to make. It's hard to impose your will physically when you're pushing people sideways all the time and reach blocking. I mean, that's hard.
So that's what I'm saying from the beginning. See if we can create an advantage at the line of scrimmage. Running the ball a little bit.
The counter was working early, and we kind of went away from it.
That's what I'm saying. See if it's working, and if it's working, you continue to do that, but you don't forget the receivers, and because I think they're gonna get their job done if the ball is placed where it's supposed to be. So I like, and this is as a receiver, I like the offensive line and running back establishing themselves first, because it always makes it easier on the receivers if you can push that man from point A to point B against his will. You start to get some success running the football, even if it's 3 or 4 yards. If you see that enough, they're gonna come up, right? Because they're gonna feel like they need more help for this. Then that's when you get to deep play. I'm not saying go away from the receivers. Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying at the beginning of the game, I want to see what the O-line and the running backs can do first. Because we know what they really want to do is pass the ball. But I would start, as crazy as this sounds as a former receiver, I would start seeing what the O-line got against that D-line and how the running backs are running. And then let it flow from there.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Rufus?
I mean, watching the game, they had that moment in time where the offensive line took over the game and they ran the ball and they gave you everything you wanted. But there also was a point in time in the game where you need to take a deep shot and you can get a big chunk yard play. And those opportunities were there and you never took it. They went sideways with their throws and they were playing close, tight, almost man-to-man type coverage. Well, a dink and dunk pass ain't gonna work because we don't block well on the outside. But I also saw they limit the people that were running in and out of the game too. They did. I mean, you didn't see a lot of different.
Not many substitutions.
Not many substitutions on offense, and that's good for a young guy because he get familiar with certain people. You make him earn it in practice, and the guy that competes in practice, and that's the best person that shows what he can do in practice and practice the right way. He starts, you're down. You're up, you're down.
Right.
But you didn't see a lot of people subbing in and out in this game. And the offense, and I mean, for a young quarterback, Spencer Rattler did an awesome job in this game. I mean, been taken out, coming back in, and taking that coaching on the sideline and the way he responded was excellent.
That was the key, Rufus. I mean to cut you off. Yeah. That was the key, how he responded to being taken out and how he responded when he came back. And I mean to cut you off, but I thought that was very huge in that game.
But it was big time and it was smart decisions. It was check one, check two, make my way up the field and go. Check one, check two, oh, I need to hit 3. Check one, check not. Check one, check two, throw the ball underhand. Check one, check two, oh, let me dance around. This is the OU Texas game. Go ahead, Rube.
Right. I agree with you. Sure. That's what it was. I mean, a lot of it was, I think Lincoln Riley made the game simple for him.
Mm-hmm.
With zone recalls, different things. I mean,
yep.
There's a simple way for him to run this offense where he can grow it within his kid's grasp, where he can, because he can make every freaking throw that you want to make.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
And I think for Lincoln, he had to dial it back down too. Because again, not having a spring, not having these guys do pass scale all the time and the relationship building that you develop doing that, there's so much that goes into the offense and reading offense. You have to be able to do that. I mean, our pass scales were just as competitive without the coaches there in the summers. Like, JD, you remember that. Our pass scales were competitive as hell.
Absolutely.
And you learn guys and what they love to do and stuff. Well, you missed all that all summer long, and he kind of kept that offensive playbook pretty open. And I mean, hats off to Mordecai. He comes in and does his thing.
Big time.
Settles the game down. He settles the game down and settles Rattler down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the play calling of the game, I think Lincoln Riley will go back and look at the game. You know what? I probably should have taken a shot right here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I was surprised he didn't. And he needs, if he goes back and look at all his close games, is whenever he didn't go out there and put his foot on people's throat, people came back and started feeling confident. And then his offense tells you that, oh, we won the game, it's sealed, I'm relaxing. Because the offense relaxed too when they went into full run mode.
I go back to, and you said it, Ruth, you said their best series, they were doing a lot of zone read. To me, that's a lot of inside zone blocking, outside zone blocking. It's that same thing. To me, when we get to 3 or 4 minutes left, there needs to be some set that we come up in. That it's Ruth, you talked about it earlier before we were on with K-State. They line up in the eye throughout the game. So that last 3 minutes is nothing to them to run 3 run plays and run a guaranteed minute and a half off the clock. They're not tripping off that. That's just how they are. And they won 21-7 in TCU. So I just, do y'all see something that for me, PJ, that's what I would like to see. When I give it to them now, we're in the I formation on the goal line. We're not doing as much wildcat and things like that, and we're trying a QB sneak or we're trying a fullback dive. But we haven't had success between tackle to tackle. We haven't had that much success tackle to tackle. What do y'all think?
When they committed to when he committed to stalling the game out, you go full commit now. I mean, when it came down to it, you have to make a decision. Do I pass on this third down or do I go ahead and run the ball and see if I can get this?
We did a reverse on third down. We did a reverse on third down one time.
We did a reverse on 3rd and 5.
So, yeah. I mean,
hey, you got PJ over there live.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real fam. I mean, and again, but Ruf, you're a coach. This is the blocking scheme. You can't run much outside off of zone when your guys are literally just trying to move people out. You're trying to create space side to side. You're not pushing people back.
Alabama ran a reverse. Sarkisian ran a reverse last night that went pretty good. I did.
Yeah.
You know, but again, that's with a dominant offensive line, and they were moving the ball down the field. Whenever we ran the reverse, we got stuffed.
Their running back had 5 touchdowns. Najee Harris had 5 touchdowns, bro. They were so worried about Waddle that Najee wasn't getting touched till 18 yards downfield, and then he's a grown man against those safeties.
Yeah. So I think in comparison, I think the play calling, and PJ would agree with that too. It all has to flow together. I mean, a reverse works well if in that drive where they were killing them, running the ball, and getting a first down, and then the first down you go the same set, running the ball, reverse, boom, nobody's home. You're going down the middle, down the field. I think this right now, the offense don't marry anything together. It doesn't flow together at all. Like we throw on the outside route pass, bubble pass for no reason at all. Everything I watched Jeff Levy them do last night had a purpose to what they were doing. They brought the guy in, zone read, and they were reading it, RPO, it was there. And it was hitting the slant, it was there. It was decisive, it was there. When they put the tight end somewhere, it was for a reason. They would bring a guy in, bubble him around, it was for a reason. When they wanted to do it and then they ran the option off of it, they ran an option on the key down, and they kept doing this play over and over again and bringing a guy in motion and coming back and was still handing off the zone. So they handed off, it looked the same. And Alabama was gassed, and they did it off of up tempo.
They couldn't even line up in time. Gassed, yeah.
So,
that's how a lot of people used to go at Bama, was try to get those plays up and wear the bigger guys out.
Right.
You know, so if you could do that. So let me ask both of you this. Do you think with this win against Texas, the way we won and some guys stepping up, do you think this will give them a little more confidence? And do you think this is something that will propel them forward? I'm not saying be stuck in the Texas game, but we could have lost that game. And I give them credit. They fought through it. You know, it may not be how we wanted it to look or whatever, but they did fight through it. And they closed it out. You know, because we were up at first and we were down. They kept fighting. Now, I'm not saying that just fighting hard is everything. You got to do your assignments well and make the plays that you're asked to make. But I think if they look at this the right way, hopefully this is a springboard to physicality. It's a springboard to, hey, we can play better than what we've played against those 2 teams we lost to. We got this win. Now we're going forward. Hopefully this is something that propels them forward. What do you think, Ruf?
I think it could springboard them, but I said they still don't. I think that towards the end of the year they'll be a better team because they'll be in shape. Right now they're not in shape. I mean, you can tell it by the defensive line and how they sputter towards the end of something. And the good thing they have this week off, because this team would be flat as hell the next game they play. You go into 5 overtimes and you don't have a summer and all that stuff or whatever it is. They went some insane number of snaps they played.
Right.
You know, so good thing they have their little time off. But I think it has a chance to springboard them. But I thought a loss would have freaking snapped their asses out of whatever it was that they were in, and they come out and they put together another shitty defensive performance. and the defensive performance started out pretty good against Texas, but they still had a lapse in it where you had another shitty ass defensive performance in the fourth quarter. And you're like, what the hell? Well, we're starting to get our turnovers now. We need to get our tackling back together or get it together.
Right.
I think he came in with the wrong message from the get-go. We may be down in the turnover department, but the missed tackle department, we are sky high. Let's get that under control.
Right.
And that was my thing, the Iowa State game. It seemed like they were more concerned with getting the damn turnover and grabbing that a ball than they were with getting the guy on the ground.
We got lucky on that first fumble. He wasn't touched. That was a gaping hole for like 8 yards downfield. Before we really touched, bro. You know what I mean? But I was really proud of the defense, man. The tackling the ball, that's really all I can ask for. But Roof, I will say, man, PJ, the thing that worries me is offenses have, when you talk about us competing against the big boys, is we have to put together drives of 70, 80 yards at times. We have to put together drives of 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Butter, though. You say our bread and butter is zone running, but are we built to zone run when we've never been a zone run team?
I'm only going off of what I see them run, what I see them try, Roof. I mean, this is what they've been trying. And here's another one. When Marcus was in, Marcus was the only one they were really trying to go inside with. I mean, Pledge they did a little bit with, but it was like, okay, when Marcus is in, we're going to load the box. And that, a lot of times the backers were in the hole. But again, Pledge's best runs were on the outside zone. Marcus' best run was on the outside zone.
Well,
I mean, what are they?
The offense is off of it, I guess.
So I don't know that they have the linemen that are the pullers. I don't know that they have that type of stuff. I want to ask you, brought up, Roof, funny story, or, you came in with Jeff Levy. You mentioned, our PJ, my old roommate, but he was part of me and Rufus' signing class, was an offensive lineman. He's now the offensive coordinator at Ole Miss. They dropped 48 on Nick Saban, had him on the ropes. But we also know the ins and outs of the Lev. Roof, what's the story you could tell about Lev, or just give everybody his background that doesn't know who he is?
I can't give any story on Lev. At Ole Miss, I am not going to give any Levy stories at all because he has a reputation and he is working at a Division I college.
He's that good of a guy, man. He is that good of a guy. I love that dude. You'll love that. I love it. Offensive genius, though, man. He did really good work down there at Baylor. Hurt his back while he was here, PJ. It was a violent time. I mean, he was one of those guys I talked about last time that hurt his back and just immediately went into coaching, learned from Heupel, learned from Wilson, went down, married our Browse's daughter, Kendall.
I will say this: he did well. He was a smart guy where he went. Yeah. And he went a certain route. So I should have thought about this a little bit different. Yeah. I should have coach's daughter and started hollering at somebody's daughter. Like when I went about this thing the whole wrong way. And Jeff Levy is a smart guy.
It was amazing. It was amazing seeing him. Go ahead.
Let me ask you guys a question a little bit away from OU a little bit. With the Big Ten and the Pac-12 come back, how do you think the national championship picture should line up for those that came in a little bit later?
What you mean?
Nobody's really ready besides Ohio State. I mean, if you ask me.
Bro, it's going to shake out to be what it's going to be, no matter if we had a full season or not. Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, and whoever else is in for.
Do y'all want to see us there?
Huh?
Yeah, we can't win it. We ain't in it.
You said no room.
No, we hadn't had a full. We hadn't had a summer or nothing, bro. The LSU game gives me nightmares, and I still got to go and live with them people. Sometimes I got to go back and visit with them people.
So you say no? Yeah. Don't run up. Don't put us in the first seed and run up against one seed.
PJ, they don't want those problems. They're not ready. Spencer,
they're not ready. But you asked me, do I want to see them in there? Yeah. Never know what happens. Okay. Now, I don't think we would win it, obviously, but I always want to be there.
I hear you. I always want to be in some, but this is one thing I don't think I want to get into. I'm going to a party, and I always want to be in the party, but if I know there's going to be a fight that I ain't prepared to fight, don't send me there. I don't want to go to that fight.
That's fair enough. Because I don't think we will win it. Yeah. So
yeah, we ain't ready for that fight. I mean, look, I'm okay with not winning it. I'm not okay with not being able to compete at all on all sides of the ball.
But that's my biggest thing too.
LSU game, we were not able to compete on both sides of the ball at all. Like not even close compete. And I'll take a loss any day. But I say we were the team that we had that went play against USC. I think that was our team was one of the biggest letdowns of a team I've ever seen because of how we played in that game. I would have taken a close loss and be like, yeah, you know what, shit, dog. They had a better game plan towards the end, but that was one of my biggest letdowns of my career, going play against USC, because I figured we had what it takes to compete, to go back and forth. In that game, we decided to play the shittiest game of our lives in that game.
Where would you rank that team amongst the teams you've seen in the 2000s, that USC team? Where would you rank? Because to me, they're the second best team I saw in the 2000s. 01 Miami was number 1, and USC was number 2.
The crazy thing about that USC team, I don't know how Rufus felt, was on film. I mean, what Bird said was right. What Bird said was right. On film, shit, they didn't look that great. They had a bunch of average looking athletes and Reggie Bush. I mean, but them dudes show up to play. They look totally different than they do on film, bro. And Lofa Tupu was a monster. He was good. He, it was part of that. I don't want to start nothing, but our offense, PJ, we went to ace. We went to one back way too early that game. K-State, LSU, and USC. 3 games that haunt me. Rufus talked about having nightmares. Those games haunt me more than anything because we went away from we went away from running. We went away from ball control, keeping our defense off the field. And I feel like we hurt y'all, Ruf, because we went away from our game plan.
Well, and I'm with you, Pete. I mean, they're one of the top 5 teams of the 2000 for sure. That USC team. I mean, bro, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. I mean, you talking about Reggie Bush, Lindell White, Steve Smith, Lofa Tupu,
Sean Cody, Mike Williams, Frosty Rucker.
So I mean, you had dudes that went on to have long NFL careers. I think Khalil was the center, wasn't he?
Matt Khalil, yeah. Clay Matthews was on the bench.
And Ryder was good in college.
Yeah, he was. Clay Matthews was on the bench. Keith Rivers, Ray Maluga, all on the bench.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Those are all they had dudes, man, and they were great at what they did. They had that cornerbacks. Look, that USC team is a top 5 team for sure of college football that year. I mean, Reggie Bush did it for a while. You know what I'm saying? So you go back, you look at that team. They had dudes still in the league playing. So I mean, but for us not to have put our best foot forward, and we wet the bed that game. That drove me absolutely nuts, man.
I'm pretty sure Everson Griffin was on that team too. He's still playing. Shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, they had guys. But yeah, I'm with you, Ruf. I mean, offensively, man, that wouldn't hurt just because. And I think I don't. Looking back, I mean, losing 2 D tackles that we, Tommy leaving early, losing one through suspension early in the season, that hurt us. I thought the corner move. We lost Double D early on that year.
Oh yeah, we did lose Dusty that year. I forgot about that. We lost Dusty.
Yeah.
Dang, we would win that national championship, dog. We'd have TV. We'd be doing TV and stuff right now. Because you win a national championship, you get to get
change everything.
Look at Matt Leinart. I mean, he on TV. He sucked in the NFL.
Yep.
That man on TV though, dressed up, prim and proper, talking football.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Bush. He ain't had no great ass career in the NFL.
Right.
He hung on the toe of the Saints and got a ring, but you know what I'm saying? He was at the bottom of the boot. He he was our special teams guy in the boot. We had somebody else to run the ball and tote the pill.
Yeah.
But he didn't do that. He didn't do nothing great, spectacular in the NFL.
Oh, we didn't mention the other one though. I don't think I heard any of us mention. What was his name? From Colorado, running back with Bush, big boy.
Talking about Lindell White.
Lindell White got busy too now.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Lindell White went to the league for a little bit.
I'm just talking about just the college version of them.
Yeah.
He didn't look like he could do what he did, but he did it.
He did it. I mean, He got an NFL and had a good career too.
Mike Williams, Steve Smith had a good career. Not great.
Mike Williams.
Polamalu, I think, was on the year before y'all played him.
He was a little bit older than us.
Yeah, he was older than us. But Tutu had a great career in Seattle.
Yeah, and defensive rookie of the year.
So while we're on this topic, since now there's some more teams that have won the championship, you had to pick the number one team of the 2000 to 2020. It's the best college football team you saw.
I just wanted to be known. I wish we could have played better. But go ahead, Rufus.
I'm going Florida, bro. Man, Florida was
08?
08 or 06?
Oof. The Hernandez one.
08.
08. Aaron Hernandez.
They were stacked.
I mean, I'm not a Tebow fan at all, but the Hernandez team, what I'm telling you.
Percy Harvin, Takeo Spikes, Hayden, Black.
Yeah, they were nice.
That team is in my 5. That 08 team is in my 5.
Who give you 1? Who's your 1?
Oh, it's not even close. It's the most talented team I've ever seen or researched. 01 Miami.
Oh yeah. I'm
OG to the core. I ain't never seen that much talent on one team in college.
Yeah, they were OG to the core. I mean,
and 17 of them were drafted off of that roster. And from the 01 team, if you take seniors down to freshmen, 39 of them eventually got drafted off just that one roster. Eventually, some were older, some were younger. It's the most talented team I've ever seen in my life.
They were
in college.
They were constructed right. Coker did an awesome job, and whatever he did to get those guys on that team, bro, he did a recruiting job out the wazoo. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, you got Shockey starting, you got Winslow Jr. as the backup.
Ridiculous.
I mean, you had
running backs,
Willis McGahee, Frank Gore, all on the same. That's the most talented team I ever saw. So they're my number one of the 2000s. Now, my favorite team is 2000 because we won it, but the best team I saw was 01.
I'm almost switching to your Miami team. I'm gonna switch to your Miami team on that because their defense was absolutely stupid too.
Yeah. Sean Taylor, McDougal,
Ed Reed.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's stupid, man.
Well, let's get back to the La Familia. Where do we go from here, PJ? Where do we go? Are we on our way back? Do we need to worry? Or do we need to study more film? Do we need to hit the weights? What do we got to do?
They need to, be happy about that win because you didn't do it. You didn't do it 2 times in a row. Take the happiness, but now Monday when you go to practice,
get back to work.
Put in the work. It's work. You can enjoy this. You're supposed to enjoy beating Texas. People were counting you out. You're supposed to do that. Saturday, be smart about it. Sunday, come home safe. Monday, we back at work.
Man, again, like I said, I'm gonna
Monday, we back at work.
I'm gonna PJ take this exhibition season and go
Takes
ahead.
Exhibition season.
Take this exhibition. Go ahead and develop your young guys. Get them some game time experience because the year don't count for the students anyway. Does it count against them?
I can't remember that. I don't know if that.
I don't know. I remember they were talking about letting everybody come back.
That's what I remember.
I think they're gonna let everybody come back. They might as well go ahead and count this as an exhibition season because we ain't gonna sniff the playoffs. Hopefully we can get into the Big 12 championship. But the way Iowa State and K-State playing, they may beat everybody else, and it may be that we may not have a chance anyway because both those teams beat us.
So you saying go young now?
I'm saying I'm making changes at key positions, and I'm
with that. I'm
gonna be an absolute frank asshole about everything. I'm like,
jobs on the
if
line.
you want to play, get in the game and play and show me what you got. I am not loyal to anybody. Nobody. Nobody's
That's
no
real.
All-American. Nobody's an All-American. So why would I have to play him?
That's real.
Yeah.
Kenneth Murray was the only All-American. Kenneth Murray and Neville Gallimore were the 2 guys that were kind of All-Americans, had a shot of being All-Americans. So who the hell am I being faithful to? Why am I being?
You gotta play the best guy.
Yeah,
gotta play the best guy.
These guys.
No matter if it's an F or an S beside his name.
Hey, I can't count them to tackle in space. I ain't loyal to nothing. I'm trying to keep my job.
Yeah.
Right now, see cooking now for Grinch now. They gonna get mad at Grinch over here.
Honeymoon period over. Honeymoon
Huh?
period. The honeymoon period's over for Grinch, but it's not over
That
for
man
Riley.
been here 1 year and 4 days. 4 days.
Okay. That man,
It's
honeymoon
over.
period. Hey, he does not know what he got himself into. That man started talking about these turnovers, and everybody said turnovers. Man, you better learn how to tackle. Forget the turnovers. I'll take a 3 and out right now. Just give me a 3 and out.
That's funny.
Listen.
That's funny.
Oh shit.
My thing, guys, and I hate to go back to it, but as bad as we were gassed, and the bad as that 4th down, and as bad as we tackled Ellinger in overtime, I just don't see. I know some Texas fans are just pissed that they didn't go for 2 at that time. I know they are. I know they're pissed. Because here's the other thing: there's 14 seconds left, so if they don't get it, they can try to onside anyway and go get a field goal. I mean,
look, I'm going for 2 because that defense just gave up a 14-point lead. I'm going for 2. I'm going for the jugular. Sticking them with the knife. I mean, Texas, you 2-1 anyway.
Yeah.
I'm going for the jugular. I'm stabbing right in the neck.
Yeah.
He definitely should have tried it.
Man. Any Rufus, I gotta ask you. People are gonna want to know specifics. Okay, you're the D coordinator. You said you'd make some adjustments to key positions. What are those positions? Let me know. We'll end up with that.
I'm making an adjustment at the nickel position. I mean, they limit the amount of times Brendan Riley Howes was in the game because he got off the field a little bit more as well in this game. And there were some things that happened as well. I think Texas themselves shot themselves in the foot because they didn't figure out ways to single him out as a cover guy and figure out where he was, because there were plays and situations in that game that I saw that he wouldn't have been in good position to cover some guys. I think Texas just didn't key on him enough. And that's an indictment on Tom Herman.
Oof.
Because K-State and Iowa State, they went at him in key moments in games. Iowa State for sure. They figured out a way to get their tall guy, their big guy, their best guy lined up on him, and they went to that guy. The safety position, hey, I understand you made Pat Fields a captain, but I'm figuring out a different situation or something else for Pat Fields, because he missed a lot of open field tackles where you're getting guys on the ground for 3 or 4 yards. That's not the way a captain handles himself on the field. And that's coming from me being a captain. And it's a privilege, it's an honor, but you can't be a captain and you get those kind of penalties or have those kind of missed tackles. Simple plays. That's not the work of a captain. Your guys won't believe in you because, I mean, who's gonna come whenever you start talking about we need a da-da-da-da-da? And like, man, why don't you just stop holding somebody? Man, why you ain't make that tackle in open field? You got to be able to rely on your captain in key situations, and too many times he has let him down. So as a coach, you need to have that conversation with him, and as a man, he should accept that and be a better captain. And the other position I'll probably look at, I think they did it. Woody Washington getting on the field, Trey Norwood being on the field more as well. Linebacker-wise, I think you need to go with 2 set linebackers and have backups after that, and then go from there. The person who feelings it hurt, that person that don't want to keep on grinding and say, well, I ain't playing or whatever, have that bad attitude, tell them bye. I think they kiss up to too many of these kids that say, well, I ain't playing and da-da-da-da, and they throw this damn fit, and then all of a sudden you see them play a little bit, and now they're okay. I had reason for about it. Bye. If you don't like it, bye. You got to compete to win. You got to compete to play. So those are the only position I would say they made changes in the cornerback position. Safety position, I'm making a change. I'm gonna find somebody that gonna want to play.
Yeah.
I don't also like to see Robert Barnes though come down to that position as a linebacker, kind of linebacker / safety in space. See if he'll tackle. But
yeah, I love it. I played with his dad. I would like to see that. I played with his dad.
Final thoughts, PJ.
Let's take the win. Let's enjoy it. But again, the work is where it's really gonna change. Because I can keep saying who I want here or who we need. It's what we have right now for this particular season. So guys got to put in the work. They need to make the changes that you talked about, and maybe one or two more that they may have thought of on their own as far as the coaches. But when you go to a Division I school, it's based on how you perform. Now, there's some like factor in some of these schools, but I really do think, from my limited knowledge from afar, play the best player. Who's the best to play at that position? You know what I'm saying? Because the thing that pushed, I came in under Corey Warren. He was the guy. Every day I say I'm gonna beat you out. We go and practice. Say you ain't do it today. That was the playful competitiveness that we had with each other. If you want to compete, and I think that that's what I saw them do some Saturday. I saw them compete. We can talk about the stuff that you said is right and stuff that you said is right, JD. But there was a time where I thought they sat down and fought. For what they had, what they were able to do, I saw that there were some major moments in there where they were fighting, trying to make these plays. And all we can ever ask anybody that's on the field is remember what you were taught, be aggressive and be smart. Give everything you got. That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
Life lessons right there.
Real.
That's all you can do.
Real. Well, man, thank y'all for coming on again. I want to give a big shout out.
All love. Good to see you, Rufus.
Absolutely. Both of y'all, man. Big shout out to y'all. Hey, let's just plan on doing it again. Hopefully we keep getting these W's, man. And hey, we got to play more physical, though. We got to play more physical. We got to eliminate that somehow, some way. I don't know. If y'all can find the key to physicality, let me know, because I got a 6th grade team that needs the answers, Sway. We need the answers, Ruth. We need the answers ASAP. How, Sway?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, Big. I don't know what to tell you, man. You got to figure that out. I'm having my
Rufus said you got to sit them down, too. That's what Rufus said.
I'm having my own struggles right now. We lost to Josh Norman the other night.
Yeah, Jay Norman.
Oh, I know he ain't let you up yet.
Oh, shit. It ain't like he was killing me on offense, man. We lost 21.
Just the win.
17, but the win hurt, but we lost on a busted coverage. Yeah. I mean, we was tearing him up. I mean, our quarterback threw like 3 or 4 picks in the game. Like, so we picked him off. Yeah, we were picking him off now. We was stomping out there. I mean, it was a good spirited game, but he had a good halftime game plan and did some good things. So hats off to Josh Norman.
That's what's up.
Do the Lakers win tonight, or do the Heat take it to 7 games?
Ooh.
I
want the Heat to take it to 7.
Really?
But I think the Lakers may end it tonight.
I think Lakers.
What do you think?
Lakers.
I'm a lifelong Laker fan. I'm praying it's the Lakers. My Cowboys ain't gonna win nothing for me. My Yankees ain't won me nothing in 11 years. I want a championship.
How the Yankees? The Yankees are all right now, though, right? Ain't they like top of the?
Yeah, no, they are. I'm saying the title.
They got a chance. They got a chance this year.
The Yankees definitely got a chance, but the Lakers got the best chance. 1 game away. So
I don't think LeBron gonna be tired though after putting up 60 and losing.
Do I now?
You don't think LeBron gonna be tired after putting up 60 and losing?
No. He fighting for legacy right now. He fighting something. Yeah, he's trying to be the best player ever. Now I think that's Kareem, but he's trying to be the best player ever. And this anything positive, championships, statistics, they're gonna compile all that.
Man, so you don't even count basketball wise. Bubble, no fans, no home court advantage, no true pressure, playing pretty much a practice scrimmage every day. Man, get out of here. I ain't getting that man no championship. I don't care if he win or not. That don't count.
But the media is going to give it to him.
That don't count. There's going to be a star next to it. There's no home and away. There's no home and away.
I'm going to start calling him Coach Rufus every time I think of that. Coach Rufus.
Yeah, Coach Rufus.
Dog, there's an asterisk next to it, dog. There's no way you're going to sit here and tell me LeBron James is now going to be considered one of the great ones after this season. This doesn't even go in as a championship, bro. Miami wasn't even thought of as being in the title.
Well, this is one of the 2 worst teams I've ever seen in the finals.
Bro, the Miami Heat in the finals? Come on, you got to be joking me, man. I can't celebrate this.
Hey, I'm a Lakers fan. I'm going to count that championship we win.
Ain't nobody watching it. On TV, nobody watching it. The most finals ever.
You know why they ain't watching it, but we'll leave that alone.
Man.
You know why they not watching it, but I believe that alone.
If it was home and away and the fans were there watching it, everybody will come back because they said the same thing for the NFL. The NFL playing home and away, they starting to allow fans. The NFL rating is okay. They put these guys in a bubble, and they do all this other crazy stuff. And the season it just didn't make any sense. I mean, you mid-season, you shut the season off, and then you bring it back to finish the finals. I mean, you talking about people going back who are in a groove, going back to eat hot dogs, hamburgers,
Yeah.
all the gyms
It was
closed.
3-4 months off, I think, for a while, right?
Yeah.
3 months,
3-4 months off, all the gyms closed.
Because it ended in the middle of March. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go nowhere. You can't get that's not that's not an earned championship. That has a star.
Hey, it's still gonna be 17 to me if we win. Hey,
And
if
Michael
LA wins,
Jordan
I disagree with you.
Michael
If the
Jordan
Heat
is
win,
the
I agree
greatest
with
player
you.
of all time. Damn, Kareem ain't no greatest player of all time. Michael Jeffrey Jordan transformed the game.
Kareem.
No, Michael Jordan.
Don't make me bring the stats.
The stats. Dang it, the man got a shoe. He's a multi-billionaire.
I'm familiar with it.
They put people started wearing longer shorts in the NBA because of MJ.
I'm gonna tell you what Mike did do. I got Mike number 2, but I can see if somebody got. But I'm gonna tell you one thing he did do. He penetrated culture.
Yeah.
There's very few people that penetrate culture. Babe Ruth did it. Ali did it. Michael Jordan penetrate culture where in the war they thought the biggest insult you can give America was say something bad about Babe Ruth or Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? What he stood up for. He penetrated culture, standing up for what he believed in, giving up the money and the chance to do. And then the last one is Jordan. When you have his silhouette as the symbol of excellence, that's when you transfer culture.
Yeah. When you talk about basketball, nobody talks about Kareem. Nobody talks.
The smart ones do. The smart ones do.
About the greatest of all time. If you're gonna go to China and talk about basketball and say who's the best, they're gonna say Michael Jordan.
No, they're gonna say who you know. The best is the guy that got the most points, top 3 rebounds and blocks, and got 6 championships.
Like Michael Jordan, number 1 in shoes, and hadn't even been in the NBA in forever. They can't take him off the throne.
Respect, Cap.
Who?
I love all y'all.
Hey man, look, man. Kareem not the guy, man.
He's the guy.
Michael.
Yeah.
I love Mike. Kareem's the guy.
Hey, let's follow it up next time. We got.
I love man. Y'all be good, man. Good seeing y'all.
Hey, and I'm gonna let y'all know. I'm gonna have a tough team next time y'all hear from me. I'm gonna have a tough 6th grade team. We doing sideline bus. We ain't got no more Gatorade. I'm stripping them of Nike jerseys. They got T-shirts in practice.
Are you gonna do the real sideline bus where you play on the street?
Sideline bus. And they get
okay. I'm just trying to see if they're doing it.
You get a hood popsicle if you hit somebody on the concrete too. You get one of them the star pops. You know what I'm talking about?
So then here's the
question. Video parents.
But what you gonna do when the Big Brother start coming up?
Big Brother with Debo.
Like that. Yeah.
Debo, hey man, we got waivers and stuff. So like, Debo ain't allowed over here.
I got a crazy drill for you, and it's something that I'll be doing with them high school kids whenever I had a tackling problem. I had a tackling issue too. I did a tackling circuit where I put an offensive lineman, running back, and then I had a wide receiver all the way to the back. And bro, they had to shed the linebacker had to shed the block, the DB had to come in, they had to hit the running back. And so the running back, hey, you better run and go run his ass over. They're gonna hit you.
Straight up.
And they had to tackle a wide receiver in space like 10 yards to go. And that wide receiver could juke left and right.
Man, ours at that age.
Hey, look, you can't run from it. Wide receiver, DBs, line, you're gonna get it either way. And the good wide receiver gonna learn how to get them juke moves in.
All day.
Drop the boys off. Linebacker gonna learn how to shake them up, gonna learn how to corral them and let the other guy hit, then shoot your shot and body slam when you get him.
Yeah. Our guy's gonna run straight up to you real fast and then bump you in the shoulder.
Right.
That's the age we at.
Run him over.
Yeah, well, I need either side. You know how it is at this age, man. The tiny kids are the firecrackers. That's it.
All right, man.
Much love, y'all.
Be good.
All right, I'll have it. Full back you.